It's the 38th most visited website in the world, with over 150 million active users and 800 staff. In this video, we'll look at how the virtual pinboarding website became so popular. Launched in March 2010, Pinterest was founded by Ben Silbermann, Paul Sciarra, and Evan Sharp. Silbermann previously worked at Google in the online advertising department, but quickly left to focus on building iPhone apps with Sciarra, whom he had met through a mutual friend. Sharp joined the company months later and was offered the position of co-founder to help lure him from Facebook. Silbermann and Sciarra's first application together was named Tote. It was revolutionary in that it allowed people to shop on their phone, but it failed to gain traction. They did, however, notice that people were using the app in an interesting way. They were saving the items they liked the look of. This led to the core concept behind Pinterest, a name coined by Silbermann's girlfriend over Thanksgiving dinner. Silbermann says he individually wrote to the site's first 5,000 users, offering his personal phone number and even meeting with many of them. 4 months after launch, the site had just a few thousand active users, disappointing the founders who were comparing their journey to that of Instagram, which had reached 1 million users in the same time frame. In early 2010, investors and Silbermann tried to convince a New York-based magazine company to purchase the site, but they declined to meet with the founders. 9 months after launch, the site finally hit the 10,000 user mark. While growth was slower than they hoped, they realized that the people who did use the site were falling in love with the platform. Silbermann focused on finding more power users who would use the site as often as their growing audience. They created a campaign branded as Pin It Forward, which encouraged bloggers to create boards on the site and offer invites to their readers. As Pinterest was invite-only at the time, it made bloggers feel more important to have the invites, and it meant those who got the chance to get on board usually would. They would later launch the campaign again in 2013, focusing on UK bloggers, based on how successful it was previously. It wasn't until March 2011, when they used their prior development experience to create an iPhone app, that numbers started to quickly rise. According to Business Insider, Pinterest co-founders and investors actively read the App Store comments on launch day, with one saying they had a Sally Field moment, thinking, "You really like me." In August of 2011, Time magazine featured Pinterest as one of the 50 best websites of the year. By December, the site had become one of the top 10 social networking websites in the world, reaching 11 million active weekly users. Just 3 months later, it had become the third largest social network in the US, trailing only Facebook and Twitter. As Pinterest started sending more referral traffic to websites, marketers took notice and started implementing Pin This buttons so readers could easily share their content on the platform. Co-founder Paul Sciarra left his position at Pinterest in April 2012 for a consulting job as entrepreneur-in-residence at Andreessen Horowitz. The venture capital firm contributed to the $100 million investment in the site just a month later, valuing Pinterest at $1.5 billion. There's a lot of speculation about why Sciarra left, but we'll skip the gossip. In August of 2012, the company removed the invite requirement to join and launched native apps for Android and iPad. The same month, Pinterest overtook Tumblr in traffic numbers for the first time, hitting just shy of 25 million active users. The categories that were driving their most growth were home, arts and crafts, style and fashion, and food. The site was instantly popular with a female demographic, and even today their audience is estimated to be comprised of 3 women to every man. In 2013, they acquired Livestar, a mobile recommendations startup, and coding challenge website Hackermeter. They also raised an additional $225 million, valuing the platform at almost $4 billion. Only in 2014, when the site was reaching more than 70 million monthly users, did they start to monetize their massive audience. They allowed advertisers to purchase sponsored pins, prioritizing their content on the platform. They also started to go on a large acquisition spree. Their third acquisition came in July of 2015 when they purchased Hike Labs, which had been developing a mobile application called Drafty. Their revenue for the year was $100 million. Their next acquisition came in August of 2016 with the purchase of Instapaper, a mobile app which allows users to save content for offline reading. This year, revenues climbed closer to their revenue goal of $1 million a day, bringing in $300 million. More recently, in April of 2017, they acquired a search engine startup called Jelly Industries, founded by Twitter co-founder Biz Stone. It's a startup that has been described as truly terrible. Despite questionable acquisitions, Pinterest revenues have continued to grow, expecting to hit $500 million for 2017. According to Recode, Pinterest are putting the pieces together for an IPO but aren't in any rush to go public. It's said that Silberman is sitting on more billion-dollar ideas if the site ever fades into obscurity, but when asked about this, he states, "Ideas are about as good as the execution behind them." A great learning experience for me is how many great people are required to execute ideas really well, and how thin the line is between seeing great execution looking back and poor execution. We hope you enjoyed this detailed guide to Pinterest. If you would like to see us profile more companies on this channel, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below.